Hi, I'm Heather Merriman with Ninja Retirement Solutions, and I'm here to discuss a topic today that I get asked about several times a year, and that is HSAs, or health savings accounts. And I might have some eyebrow-raising news for you. They are a great option for some people. They are not a great option for everybody. Now you may be asking yourself, why? Well, I'm here with some good pros and cons to HSAs, as well as potential alternatives that might be a better option for some. So let's talk a little bit about what HSAs are, how they operate, and who they are best used by. So first off, you would assume that an HSA is probably going to be best utilized by people who use their insurance a lot. Maybe they have some serious chronic conditions that makes them going to the doctor a lot, getting a lot of medications, a lot of therapy or treatment. And the money that you put into an HSA then, you would be able to use on those medical expenses in the terms of your deductible on your health insurance, co-pays, co-insurance, as well as your medications and perhaps medical supplies as well. Now, one of the pros of having an HSA is whatever money you put into your HSA, which is basically just a bank account, but whatever money you put in there gets to grow tax deferred. So a couple of things can come into play here. First, a lot of times I actually will be asked the question about HSAs from very, very healthy people who never use their health insurance. They just have it for emergencies. You know, anybody can break an ankle or suddenly be diagnosed with something. But otherwise, you know, these people might be, you know, perfectly healthy and normally not use their insurance. Here's the interesting thing about HSAs. They are only available with certain health insurance policies. Now, technically, they're supposed to come with policies with a high deductible. Now, that being said, I've seen insurance policies that have HSAs with a deductible $2,000 or less. Now, in my world, unfortunately, $2,000 is not really a high deductible. But here is one of the cons of a health savings account, or an HSA. And that is, whatever money that you put into an HSA, if you cannot use it on a qualified medical expense, such as towards your deductible or your medical treatment, then it's going to HSA jail until you turn age 65. So if you're super healthy and you hardly ever use your insurance, you're probably losing access to any money that you have put into an HSA, at least until you're age 65. Now here's the other problem that I particularly find common with HSAs, and that is, you would think again that they are for high usage people with chronic medical conditions, but all too often the health insurance actually attached to the HSA is really poor coverage. For example, 9 times, or maybe even 9.5 times out of 10, that insurance policy will not have any benefits until you meet the deductible. You don't even get co-pays to see a primary doctor on most plans with an HSA. So the benefits are really crappy, which really befuddles me, because why would you have an HSA if you didn't have health problems and actually need the benefits? So that's definitely con number 2 that I do see with HSAs. One, again, is your money goes to HSA jail until you can use it. 2, you also get crappy insurance for what you are also paying for in addition. On top of that, you only have, granted, it is a pro that your money, you get to put money in there tax deferred, and it can grow tax deferred. But let's talk about how much growth that you actually see in a standard average HSA. And that's only about 1.5%. So oftentimes, as I mentioned, the people that I hear from asking about HSAs might be extremely healthy people. And the only reason that they're interested in an HSA is as a form of investment, with the notion of using the luxury of that account being tax deferred to grow some retirement income. Well, 1.5%, first off, is not that great of an investment. You can do significantly better so many different ways. But furthermore, there are caps on how much you can put into an HSA each year. Now, as of the time of this recording, it is 2025, and the most that you can put into an individual policy is $4,300 a year. You may or may not want to be investing more than that for retirement purposes, depending on what age bracket that you're in. Now, if you are on a family plan, that amount will actually go up to $8,550. But now, if you and a spouse are investing, again, $8,550 a year may or may not be enough of an investment for you to fill the need of a retirement investment, especially since your investment is on average going to be growing only 1.5%. So again, a few cons. We have the significant pro of you being able to put the money into an HSA tax deferred. Cons include, though, you can only use that money on medical qualified expenses. Your insurance that comes with the policy is not going to have very good benefits in and of itself. You will not have access to any of that money until you turn age 65 otherwise. You are only going to grow that money at approximately 1.5%. And again, you have those caps of either $4,300 for an individual or $8,550 for a family for a cap investment. So, can you achieve a retirement investment account that will give you a better output for your money than with an HSA? Yes. And today, I'm going to give you one example. So the example that we are going to look at today as a very valid alternative for some people, not everybody, because there's no tool or solution that is the perfect fit for every person in every situation out there. But here's a great alternative for a lot of people if an HSA does not fit your needs due to all the different cons and you being particularly a healthy individual. And that would be an indexed universal life insurance policy, or an IUL. So these are very unique life insurance policies in that they can be structured in very unique ways in order to make them achieve the goal that you are after. In this particular example, we're looking at retirement income. So, what are the pros and cons and difference? Well, first and foremost, the biggest pro to an HSA is them growing tax deferred. An IUL will also grow tax deferred. In addition, when you ultimately take income from your IUL, also tax free. Fantastic pro. Now, here's some of the other pros that you will have with an IUL. First and foremost, whatever money you put in there, unlike an HSA, you can use for whatever you decide that you need it for. It doesn't have to be for medical expenses. Maybe you want to use that to travel in your retirement. Maybe you want to use it to buy a house in the future, or to cover long-term care needs in the future. You can use it for many different things, not just medical expenses. Furthermore, You do not have any investment caps like you do with an HSA. You can put $4,300 a year in there. You can put $10,000, $20,000, whatever you want in a year. You get to be the judge of that amount. Furthermore, one of the cons that we have with an HSA is the average growth rate, which we mentioned with an HSA is approximately 1.5%. Well, with an IUL, the average growth interest rate is closer, if not above, 8%. That's a heck of a lot better. So you can put more money in there if you want to. You can use it for whatever you want to, and it grows exponentially faster in an IUL than it would in an HSA. Now, I did a comparison recently for several different people, and I'm going to talk about someone in around the 30 age bracket, because obviously it makes a big difference whether you start your retirement savings at age 30 versus age 50. So let's look at a scenario of someone in their very early 30s. Instead of doing an HSA, they want to put the $4,300 a year into an IUL. Well, if they are going to retire at what today is the average age, happens to be age 70, then at that age, when they turn 70, the income that they're going to turn on from their IUL is going to be in the 6 figures a year range. 6 figures, tax-free, don't forget. Now, this is going to be a secondary income to at least your Social Security, as well as other different retirement investments. So again, this is not a perfect solution for everybody, but it's definitely a good solution for a lot of people. And oftentimes, when you're thinking about investment options and you're only stuck on the mindset of an HSA, you may not realize the other options that you have out there. So I strongly encourage you, make sure you hit the subscribe button to get more information as we release it. And please be sure to visit our website and hit the blue button to book a phone call so we can just discuss what your goals are and all the various tools that you can use to be able to achieve the retirement of your dreams, because you deserve a future masterfully planned.